There are a few different reasons as to why we actually do backing on designs and the order in which we do them. So I've brought some samples in, and this one here is done in the hoop. Both of these are done in the hoop. This is done through the mug rug method, so it leaves a gap in the beginning, at the top of the hoop, like a small opening, like 4 inches. And once it's cut out of the hoop, then you can actually turn it through and hand stitch your seam closed. And then this is our other sample. This is done with a satin stitch. So you turn the hoop over, you tape it down to the back, you stitch it down, and after you've cut it, it does a satin stitch, and that actually closes a seam. So that means that there's no raw edges available in each of these from the front. And then our third sample is actually little purses. So these are also completed in the hoop. We put a backing on, and this is done with a 2-turn. So that shows that you can actually have no open seams once you've turned out your zipper purse. And that's a great example of actually completing your product completely. That's those two. Here at Sweet Pea, there are 2 methods in which we actually finish off our products. There is the one where we finish off our projects once they've left the hoop. We want to put a backing on like that, or there are our smaller projects which are completed within the hoop. Now I want to show you some different types of backings that we use here at Sweet Pea. The first one is your border, backing and binding. For this one, you can do your binding from the back or the front, and that shows you on this product that you can see a top stitch. So this is done from the back first and then folded over to the front. So this has a top edge stitch, and this is done from the front first, done to the back. And that means that it's stitched in the ditch, so you can't see any stitching on the front of the product. Another method is a split backing. So this is using 2 pieces of fabrics stitched together, leaving a gap in the middle and then turning it out that way. And that just means you can turn out your project. You don't need to add a binding or a border or anything like that. And this also shows the difference between using a calico and a non-calico behind, so that you can't see any of the embroidery or anything like that. And this is our third type, which is a backing binding, which I love using. So this is just a smaller sample, and that shows you that we've used a big piece of fabric. We've left 1.5 inches on each side, we've stitched in the ditch, and then we've cut it back to 1.25 inches, and that gives us a perfect binding, clean look. And that's our small sample, and I just want to show you our larger sample and how that looks. And our final technique is our envelope backing. So that's where we've got an overlap of our fabrics. We usually use this on our cushions, and we put some little cam snaps there so everything's a clean finish. And that's all of our techniques of backings. If you're interested in any of these techniques, we've got a great resource on the Sweet Pea Studio on our website, and also our YouTube channel, which shows great tutorials on how to complete any of these looks.